Hey everyone, welcome back here to my channel where I play Smalzie Zoo. Today we have a little Wednesday quickie with the Fennec Fox, which is the smallest fox in the world, and therefore it just had to be here in Smalzie Zoo. If you want to learn more about the Fennec Fox or simply see how I built this habitat, then please keep watching. I will like to mention today that the Fennec Fox is actually the only one of the 3 foxes that is in the game that I haven't seen in real life, and therefore also I have never seen a habitat built for the Fennec Foxes. But I really wanted to go in and see what actually would be done in a zoo and what would be realistic, still making an effort to make it nice and cozy and all of these things, but really focusing on the fact that it should be durable for a normal, not too rich zoo. So what I did was thinking about the animals I have seen in zoos, and since I live in Denmark and we are not England, so we don't have rain like half the year, but we have a lot of rain. We also get some years a lot of snow in the winter, and therefore these the animals aren't that easily kept in Danish zoo. And honestly, the only really common desert animal I can think of that I have seen in Danish zoos is the meerkat. So that's kind of what I went for. Not to build a meerkat habitat, but kind of the limitations of that. It should be small enough so you can actually have a chance to heat it. I would also actually like to have tall walls most of the way around, so if it really got a lot of snow, then you either would move the animals out of the habitat in the winter, or you would have to both be able to heat it up and at the same time actually also cover it, because even though you heat it up, if there comes a lot of snow, then that snow just turn into water and you have a muddy habitat instead, and you don't want that either. So therefore I went in and really tried to do that. At the same time, I also focused on the rain by building a custom water area where there will be overflow, so if it rains a lot, the water will kind of run down there, hopefully. And in their house, this floor stone closest to the right of their house is actually lifted a little bit over the sand on that side, and that is also the idea that water down there would go under, and then you could have it rain down there to make sure again that their house don't overflow. And also often when I build these habitat, I lower the stone so they are level with the ground. I do not do that here, as you noticed, so we keep them up. So again, if there comes a lot of water and the drain can't take it, then they will still be lifted up over the water that could come. It is actually quite normal when we have a lot of rain here in Denmark that the normal drainage in the street will overflow, and therefore if a road is placed low, it will actually be completely covered in water, something you should be very aware about if you drive in Denmark. Anyway, as I mentioned, the Fennec Fox is the smallest fox in the world, and they actually weigh all the way down between 0.7 kilo to 1.6, which is less than a normal house cat, much less actually. Just to list it in pounds, that it is 1.5 pounds to 3.5 pounds. So again, very small. A big part of them is their ears, and that is for a few different reasons. One being the idea that they can actually kind of cover themselves some part with the ears if it's sun and they are laying on the ground. They can also use the ears kind of the same way rabbits do, where they will add blood flow to the ears, since they are the furthest away from the heart that they can possibly be, and therefore it will be the coldest part of the body. So they pump blood out there and it will cool down as far away from the heart as possible, and then they will circulate it in and cool the body down that way. A few animals do this and it is kind of brilliant. And let's just do the reminder that the facts that foxes are not dogs nor cats. They have their own family and their own genus. They are in the carnivora order, which is all of the carnivores. So of course we both have the cats and dogs in the same order, of course, as well as bears and so on. But when we get in closer, we have the family of Canidae. Canidae is a family of 112 different animals, and we also have yes the wolves, yes the coyote, yes the dingoes, the red fox, the raccoon dog, African wild dogs, all of the foxes, more raccoon dogs, even the main wolf that is not actually a wolf is in here. So yeah, they are closer related to dogs than cats, but when we go down to genus, they are in the Vulpes genus, which is the genus specifically for foxes. There are 24 different species and subspecies in here, though some of them is sadly at this point extinct. And I mentioned specifically subspecies because half of these are subspecies of red fox. Which also is why I really hope that when they added the red fox, they would have gone with a subspecies, because the red fox, again, Vulpes vulpes, have so many different variations based on where they come from, and even some countries even have multiple subspecies of red foxes because they have these kind of obvious differences, though they actually are very similar. I know that sounds a little weird, but if you look at them, it makes sense, I promise you. Anyway, the Fennec Fox is the Vulpes cerda, and I probably didn't pronounce that right. It is a little speedy fox since it have a top speed of 40 kilometers per hour, 25 miles per hour. I know some people can run faster than that. I promise you I cannot. The Fennec Fox is native in Africa, more specifically Algeria, Chad, Egypt, Libya, Mali, Mauritania, Morocco, Niger, Sudan, Tunisia, and Western Sahara. They live in the dunes in both arid and tropical climate zones. Now, there are some things in the world I don't know, and one being I do not know which language these countries speak. But I will say one thing about language, and that is the fact that I find it very, very weird that we kind of internationally all try to use English names for animals if we don't have a name for them ourselves. However, for the Fennec Fox, the name Fennec actually comes from Arabic, which is Fennec. I probably don't pronounce it right, but it's F-A-N-A-K. And I just like that idea that other countries kind of maybe not use exactly the same as the native language does, but kind of go in and try to go for the same thing instead of just saying something that it's not. At this point in the video, you should be aware that foxes are closer related to dogs than cats, but not close related to either. However, they actually have one specific thing that the cats also have, and that is their purr. They will literally purr if they are content. This is not something that you would normally just hear in a zoo and go and they will do it. I know some cats are literally like, you just have to look at them at them will start purring. Other cats never purr. The Fennec Foxes will purr when they are content, but they would probably not do that around humans since they are shy, so humans stress them out a bit. So I'm sorry, I would like to hear it too, but probably won't happen. If there's something that can stress females of any species, including humans, out a bit, it's kind of all of that mating things. For the vixens, the female foxes here, it's actually quite easy to see since some of them will actually get love handles and gain weight in this period, and some of them will also show with alopecia, I'm not sure I pronounced that right, which is this spotted baldness, basically from stress of the entire hormonal process mating season can be. So yep, it's not only humans that got fucked over when it comes to the mating thingies. For most animals in the deserts, they will kind of need to focus a lot of their body energy on not getting too hot. And as I already mentioned here with the ears, yes, the Fennec Fox works on not getting overheated, of course, but at the same time, they will actually start to shiver because they are too cold if the temperature drops below 68 degrees Fahrenheit, which I calculated to 20 degrees Celsius, which is, yes, I will also shiver there, but I'm one of those people who always freezes. 20 degrees is actually pretty nice spring day, I would say, here in Denmark, and that's probably why I never seen them in Denmark, because they wouldn't like the cold at all. I love once in a while going through these kind of weirder facts for animals, and this fact is definitely taking the cake. We all know different animals who have different scent glands beneath their tail that isn't that nice to be around. But if you startle a Fennec Fox, they will produce a musky smell from their scent gland. But instead of having it under the tail or on the neck or anywhere where normal animal would have it, the Fennec Fox have it on the tip of the tail, which is extremely weird to me. We even talked about sloths that have it on their back, but again, Fennec Foxes have it on the tip of the tail, which I guess is smart if you're running away from something, but if something shows up just in front of you, you have to turn all the way around before you can do anything. However, again, the back is always your most vulnerable point, so I guess it makes sense. And before we end today, I just want to mention that the Fennec Fox actually also is the national animal for Algeria. And Algeria's national football team, Les Fennecs, have their nicknames from the Fennec Fox. And I believe it's also their mascot. I'm not completely sure, but I would guess if their name is after it. So yeah, at least some countries know how to honor this beautiful animal. Anyway, enjoy the rest of the cinematics, and I will come back afterwards. Okay guys, that's all I got for you today. I really hope you enjoyed it, and as always, you know the drill. Like, subscribe and turn on the bell notification so you know the next time I upload a video. I really hope to see you again, either in the comments below or in the next video. Bye guys.